Hello, everybody. This is Darcinovia here, and this is the last stream of the year. Now, I have no clue how long this video is going to be, but now, why do I call this Reflections? Because a lot has happened this year, and I mean a lot. A lot of things have happened, and I do have some forms of self criticism I feel like I should be doing because there is some mistakes I did make this year that I should address. But before I get to that point, would like to thank everybody that has continued to support me throughout this entire time. 2021 was a pretty difficult year. Same as not as difficult as 2020, but it was still a difficult year. And am grateful for everybody that stuck by me when the split between me and Be Liberal happened. Now, the criticism I'd have to make on that, the self criticism is, I should have, instead of blindly being loyal to someone that already betrayed me in the first place, I should have investigated the allegations. I should have investigated everything that Broden put out instead of blindly wanting to believe in B level. That was a mistake, a serious mistake. Because when that happened, I thought Be Liberal was my friend. But in the future, if there's accusations that have some merit, I need to investigate them. By ignoring these, I practice a form of liberalism. I wanted to maintain my connections with B level and my friendship, whatever the hell that was, because I was not confident in my own skills or what I was doing at the time. That was a mistake. Falling for B liberals manipulations, not actually challenging B level when I should have. Then again, hindsight at the end of the year, you know, I can't change the past, but I could change the present. And I could say this: I will not make that same mistake again. Now, other criticisms I like to give to myself: I don't think I did enough reading this year. There's still a lot of reading I have to do, and I mean a lot of reading I have to do. History, Marxism, and I don't think I did enough this year. And I'd like to work on that more in 2022. I mean, I've learned a lot this year. I will give myself credit for that one. I did learn a lot. I actually learned what Maoism actually is, not what the likes of Be Liberal or Caleb Maupin or Haas say it is. And I basically been convinced that Maoism is correct. My mistake was not investigating it sooner rather than, waiting for other incidents to happen. Another self criticism I have to give to myself is when the Venezuelan patriot, when he invaded that stream. For those of you who are asking, okay, where's that stream? It doesn't exist anymore. I deleted it the same day. That was a learning experience because I realized, Marxism, Leninism is outdated, and I wasn't able to argue against his points because of it. Because in order to fully debunk these people, you have to do it from the perspective of a Maoist or Maoist adjacent. And that's was a learning experience. If anything, that was probably a mistake on B level's part to actually push me towards, Maoism. He actually accelerated my development rather than actually halt it. But it was still a mistake to not see through who Venezuelan Patriot was right away and not believing in my comrades who already did. Now, do I regret doing what I did? No, at least not that occasion, because it was a learning experience. I learned from that experience, and I'm probably still going to make some mistakes in the next year, and I'll have to do self criticism again and again and again. But part of being a good Marxist is willing to criticize yourself when a serious mistake has been made. And if you don't criticize yourself, you're not a Marxist. If you're not willing to self criticize. And I don't see this from any of my detractors. The only thing I see is circle jerking and punching down at people who may say a few bad things that isn't really correct, or taking the worst aspect of their character and making it their entire personality, and that is not it, or do, resort to forms of slander, because Marxism is a science, not a religion. And I'm not into this movement because I'm here to make friends. Believe it or not, I'm here because I'm serious about the goals of what Marxism espouses. I believe that in order to change the world, we need to actually talk to people like real human beings and not as a bunch of ignorant automatons who don't know what they're talking about, or they need the white savior or the intellectual to lift them up. No, you can make whoever believe in the ideas of socialism if you simply explain it in a way that doesn't sound alienating to them. And trying to emulate the right is not going to do anything but have you go fucking rightward. I mean, look at Ewoks Unhinged. Ever since I left, that channel has been going so rightward ever since that the channel is not even recognizable anymore. I can't believe this channel was once a communist channel. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because just look at the kind of crap that you see in the Caleb camp. A lot of it is circle jerking. A lot of it is just cult, nonsense, talking, about non-issues like BreadTube. None of this shit matters at this point. And let's just see. Let's just look, think about what has been happening in all of this year. There was a split with Jason and Caleb a few months ago. I think it should have happened sooner, honestly. And you see some of the weirdest shit that comes out of that camp. Like fucking Hawes, I think, is a fucking crazy lunatic. And I think it was a mistake not denouncing that fucker sooner. Because if we're serious about changing the world, then we can't just be emotional and associate ourselves with people that will potentially kill us. I think doing what I did, trying to work with the people that I disagree with, that isn't a bad idea, but there's certain things that you just cannot work with people like Caleb Maupin. There's just like, I don't believe in American patriotism. I think it's a fascist ideology. I don't trust people that push American patriotism, and I think, you know, the very fact that I didn't actually go with that instinct in the first place and didn't stick to my gut, because look what the kind of people that the American patriots are. I mean, if you guys look at what Hawes says on Twitter, it's fucking disgusting. The guy's a literal fucking neo-fascist that pushes fascist talking points on his fucking streams, on his fucking Twitter, and not calling that fucking out is fucking liberalism. And these people, Caleb Maupin, I mean, he'll do a cult fucking video saying, "Oh, make the lies stop. Read Caleb Maupin's work." No, fuck off. I'm not gonna spend fucking money that I fucking don't really have on fucking bullshit like Caleb Maupin. I get all the content from Caleb from his own fucking streams, his own videos. Every fucking, thing that you see from Caleb Maupin, you don't fucking need to read a fucking book to understand his points. You don't. You don't. And the very fact that I was willing to actually work with this guy was a mistake. It was a mistake trying to work with this guy, because he doesn't fucking want what the lumpen proletariat want. He doesn't want what actual communists want. He's fucking pushing his Americanist bullshit, which doesn't benefit anyone but the freaking white middle class. That's not the fucking kind of shit that I freaking want. That's not the kind of shit that I think it's going to benefit the real masses. It's just going to benefit fucking the freaking most reactionary aspects of the population. And I'm not for that. No. That was another part of liberalism for me. And I'm talking about this year in 2020 as well. That the fact that I didn't stick to my original gut instinct of what Caleb Maupin was because of the Dugan conference has contributed to the kind of fucking cult mentality and the cult bullshit that we see from his camp. I feel like I contributed in a way to that. And that is something that I don't think I should not freaking criticize myself for. I should, because it's correct to do so. Was it Jason's mistake too? Yes, but it's up to Jason to criticize himself for that. It's not me. And I do think that Jason, it was a mistake for him not to call out Caleb for all of his fascistic, behavior. But that's Jason's, business to deal with, and not mine. I can only speak from my experience and my perspective, and from my perspective, the Maupin cult aren't interested in fighting for socialism. All this crap, all this shit is just Twitter nonsense. Like, rather than prove through his actions that Caleb isn't a fascist, he doubles down. He doesn't try to prove his detractors wrong. He just doubles down. And how the fuck are you any better than the people that criticize you when you constantly go around slandering people who actually are doing real fucking work? I'm sorry. Danky Kang is a fucking real fucking communist. He's a real fucking cadre. The guy doesn't spend most of his fucking time tweeting about nonsense. I mean, look at Caleb's fucking Twitter and fucking Hawes. These people tweet so fucking often that it's pathetic. It really is pathetic. It really is pathetic. It's like it's like these are people who have too much time on their hands. This is the kind of crap. It's like, these are the real communists, and those who actually do fucking real work on the street aren't? they have the nerve to call people like Black Redguard a fucking Fed. Fuck off. Black Redguard fucking does real work in fucking Missouri. And it's one of the most racist fucking states in the country. I fucking know because I fucking lived there in the freaking 2004 to 2007. I could tell you from experience, it's fucking insanely racist. The very fact that he lives in like one of the most freaking crime-ridden areas in the freaking country, St. Louis. I mean, come on. Fucking Black Redguard does real shit. Do I agree with everything he says 100% of the time? No, I don't. But I respect him for what he does. He actually does real work. Danky Kang does real work. And the fact that people will want to freaking say, oh, these people are fucking feds, or Danky Kang is like a freaking pro-imperialist because he is for the rights of women and the LGBTQ plus community. It's like, fuck off. It's like all these people, they're just not trying to push leftism. They're trying to push people to the fucking right. Because when you try to cater to the right, you're going to freaking be going the right. You can't fucking not go right if you're trying to do tailism. I'm not fucking going to compromise my fucking principles just so I could freaking get reactionary people that would have a dagger, to my back. It's just fucking stupid. It's stupid. Why would you want to get some of your worst enemies to work with you? No, they'll fucking kill you. America is one of them is like the most anti-communist country in the fucking world. You can't freaking expect, to get freaking all these people on your side. You're gonna have to work with the cards you've been dealt with. You're gonna have to go deeper and deeper and deeper. You're gonna have to go for some of the most poorest, most poverty-stricken people of the country, and if you want to build a fucking movement, to build something tangible, you're not going to do it with the middle class. You may be able to get a few individuals here and there to, fight for their cause and help build socialism, but overwhelmingly, these people, it's against their interest to build a socialist state. And if you really are serious about building socialism, then you'd be supporting secession movements. Like if Texas ever wants to secede from the Union, I believe if you want to truly sabotage American imperialism, you will support secession. Yeah, weaken these states. California, you want to weaken, the strongest economy in the country, or one of them. Support the idea of splitting California into multiple states. I would support it because it further weakens the empire. Do anything that weakens the empire. Yeah, some people's lives are going to, change for the worse. But you know what? That's going to happen anyway, regardless. Sacrifices have to be made. We have to be willing to make sacrifices if we're going to, build socialism. We're not going to build socialism just by waving signs and freaking yelling socialism now, or acting like a bunch of cultists and reading a bunch of books written by a cult leader. That's not going to fucking change anything. Sacrifice has always been, something that communists have always done. And you have to be willing to get your hands dirty. Anyone that pushes this non-violence nonsense is fucking not your fucking comrade. They don't fucking want socialism. They want social democracy. Because if you really were a communist, you would know that you're going to have to eventually, make a choice. If you're serious about communism, you're going to have to make sacrifices. You have a responsibility to this movement. And I could say this about myself too. We all have a responsibility. We all have to, make a choice. We all have to make sacrifices. If we're about the greater good, we're about changing the world for the better or contributing to that, we can't just do things the comfortable way. This white middle class nonsense of waving signs and trying to take power through elections is always going to end up in failure. We have history to prove this. We have history. Like, anyone that actually claims we could take power without violence doesn't know anything about the history of this movement. I mean, look at Europe. If you read about Europe, in like the early 20th century, which movements succeeded and which ones didn't when it came to building communism? Why did Russia succeed and the others failed at that time? And no, it's not because, violence this, violence that. They were willing to do what it was necessary to build socialism. They had to make some sacrifices in order to do so. They had to have been willing to actually do all the hard work and actually fight against various factions that would want them destroyed. The Soviet Union is the biggest example of how you could build socialism. It's the first socialist country. And guess what? What example did other countries follow? The Soviet Union. Yeah, China did it. Vietnam did it. Cuba did it. North Korea did it. Every country that attempted socialism, they looked at the Soviet Union. Because the Soviet Union, the way they built their state was efficient. Yeah, there's a lot you can criticize about the Soviet Union. There's a lot of mistakes they've made, but it doesn't change the fact that they managed to actually successfully build a socialist state, and it successfully managed to maintain it. America, these American Marxists don't fucking know shit. They're too fucking scared, and they're like fucking children. It's like, you fucking people actually think you're going to build socialism in the most anti-communist country without at least willing to defend yourselves from the state? No matter what you do, the state's going to crack down violently. And saying that Maoists are just fetishized violence is such a straw man. Anyone who advocates for violence, for the violence sake, is not someone I trust. All right? I'm just going to let you know. I believe in self-defense. That is not advocating for violence. And anyone that doesn't advocate for the bare minimum of defending yourselves from the fascist lapdogs of the U.S. government, you either are an idiot or you actually are secretly supportive of these people. In order to build a socialist movement in this country, we have to be willing to sacrifice what we love in order to get that done. Whatever comforts you guys have, you have to be willing to sacrifice that, because it's going to be taken from you sooner or later. But how much are you willing to suffer to build socialism? You're not building socialism for yourself. You're building socialism for the people that will be born generations from now. We got to stop being selfish little fucking shitheads and only think about ourselves. That's why freaking people don't take socialists seriously in this country. Because when people look at socialists, they just think of a bunch of college kids. And in fact, that's exactly what most socialists in this so-called socialists are. They're a bunch of college kids that freaking think they know more than they actually do. We need fucking experience. And the only way we could do that experience is to actually engage with people. I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. But this isn't about YouTube. This is much bigger than YouTube. Much bigger than social media even. Because these things, we're not always going to be able to have these discussions on social media. The revolution will not be televised, and that is a fact. And the problem with Marxists in America is they're not, willing to make the necessary sacrifices to build socialism, because there will be sacrifices to build socialism. We need to stop being selfish and stop thinking, in the here and now. We have to think about the 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now. Socialism, we're not building this for ourselves. We're building it for our children, our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren. That's why we want socialism. It's not for ourselves. It's for our descendants. Because they're going to be the ones that will benefit from the fruits of our labor, not us. We're the architects for this movement, and until we start thinking like that, we're never going to succeed at building socialism. Because socialism is not a movement where we just build socialism and within the lifetime to make our lives better. We need to stop thinking about our lives. We need to think about the lives of our descendants, because they're going to be the ones that will benefit from socialism, or they're going to be the ones that will be fighting for their survival when things freaking get really bad. Capitalism cannot be allowed to survive past the 21st century. It cannot be allowed to survive. It can't. It can't. We need to build socialism within this century, not wait for our descendants 100 years from now to do the job for us. We should be doing it. And this is why I have respect for Marxists in other countries, in the global South and the Eastern countries, because they get this. They get this. They understand this. They understand what has to be done, what needs to be done to build socialism. Western Marxists don't get this. They don't get it. They think if they join a cult, join a little book club, and occasionally hold some signs looking like a bunch of fucking lunatics, that they'll build socialism. No, you're not gonna build socialism by freaking dressing like a fucking weirdo, dressing in a suit. Fucking people look at you like you're fucking crazy. No, you're not gonna fucking do shit. No, all this crap that you see from the Caleb cult, it's a fucking internet phenomenon. It's nothing else. And nobody fucking outside the internet gives a fuck about BreadTube. Nobody. BreadTube is irrelevant. Speaking of which, BreadTube is completely irrelevant. That was like one of the worst things that MRN fucking did. And I could criticize myself for this because I was part of the problem too, was focusing on BreadTube. What the fuck does BreadTube do? They're not a threat. They're a fucking joke. They're a fucking joke. They're a fucking joke. BreadTube is a fucking joke. Seriously, they're a fucking joke. Vosh is a fucking joke. Who gives a shit about some fucking bunch of stupid fucking college kids doing a bunch of fucking shit? It's like, oh yeah, they have some takes we don't like. They're just fucking liberals. We don't fucking... Why should we give a shit? Why? The only people that fucking pushing this fucking bullshit is when they don't have anything of substance to actually talk about or anything of substance to offer. It's like anyone that fucking cites Caleb Maupin, of all people, needs to be fucking slapped in the face. I mean, I don't need to read a fucking shitty book about BreadTube to understand that BreadTube is fucking shit. I mean, shit. I mean, the fucking priorities of these people just goes to show you they're not fucking serious about building a socialist movement. when they're fucking fixated on fucking an internet movement. Who gives a shit about fucking, Bosch? Who gives a shit about Xander Hall? Who gives a shit? No one fucking knows who these people are outside the internet. Who fucking gives a shit? Seriously, who gives a shit about BreadTube? Who gives a shit? Just continuing to talk about them just continues to expose them. I mean, for fucking Christ. It's like, BreadTube is the best thing that could have ever happened to fucking Caleb Maupin and his fucking group. Because they fucking, they keep them relevant. Nobody would fucking, give a shit about Caleb Maupin if it weren't for his stupid fucking grudge against Vaush. Because Vaush made him look like a fucking clown in his freaking debate. I mean, that debate with Caleb Maupin and Vaush, I watched it live. It was a fucking joke. Caleb made himself look like a freaking idiot. It's like, it's like, seriously, this is the guy that fucking, the left fucking, we want to be inspired to? Oh, everyone needs to wear suits. So like, no, fuck you. This suit shit, another thing I'm just going to talk about, the suit fucking shit, it's like, it's nothing but punching down. It's like walking in a fucking working class neighborhood looking like a fucking businessman. What are the fucking, poor are going to think of you? They're going to think you're a con man, because a con man wears a fucking business suit. When they see a business suit, they think of a con man. They think of freaking people like the Hillary Clinton or Bush, or people that have fucked them over. They're going to think of that. They're going to think you're a con man. They're going to think that you're some crook. Fucking no. If you want people to actually take you seriously, you fucking look like a normal person, and you look like you actually could be approached. If you see someone in a business suit, I don't fucking approach them, because I don't fucking know what kind of people they are. People in business suits, they tend to be freaking politicians, CEOs, and why would I want to approach people like that? Especially when they're the kind of people that would probably call security on you. Freaking fuck suits. I mean, seriously, fuck suits. It's nothing more than classist nonsense. Oh, nobody's going to take the left seriously unless they approach Marx communism like a job interview. No. This is nonsense. It's nonsense. Some of the most respected communists in history didn't fucking dress like some freaking con man. Yeah, Lenin may have dressed in a suit, whatever. That's not what I think of. And I'm speaking it from the American context, honestly. And fucking in America, when people see someone in a suit, they freaking get disgusted. It's like, I hate these kind of people. It's like, it's almost as if these ivory tower Marxists don't understand what fucking the average fucking working person wants or what they hate about fucking this country. They fucking just look at their own class and think, oh, this is what the entirety of the American population wants. Like, no. Why did the middle class vote for Trump? It's because Trump fucking helped them with their interests. Why did they vote for Biden? Same fucking thing. These people don't understand fucking how people are on street level, because they're so fucking high up their own ass. Their head is so far in up their own ass that they can't fucking see straight. And the very fact that I wanted to be friendly with people like Caleb Maupin, what a fucking idiot I was. I was a fucking idiot. It was pretty fucking idiotic to actually even consider such a thing. Because Caleb Maupin, even if we were still friendly with him, if things were to go to shit, he'd be one of the first people to stab us in the back. Because that's the kind of person Caleb Maupin is. You cannot trust someone who's an American patriot. American patriotism If anyone's an American patriot, I instantly have a instant distrust. Why? It's quite simple. Why I would have a distrust towards someone who's a so-called American patriot? Because what do I associate patriotism with? What do I associate patriotism with? Flag waving fascists that go in rallies like Charlottesville, or counter protesters waving the American flag. That's what I think of when I think of American patriotism. American patriotism isn't fucking anything but reactionary bullshit. And Caleb Maupin wants to fucking push let's cater to Americans based on their patriotism to get them to become socialists. No, if you do that, you're just going to push them to fascism. You want to turn Americans into fascists pretty quickly? Push patriotism. No, we're supposed to be an anti-fascist movement, not fucking pro-fascist. Freaking a fascist movement pushes for patriotism. And don't give me that nonsense. Oh, these X and X countries, they love their country. Well, there's a difference between nationalism of oppressed countries versus nationalism of oppressor countries. There's a fucking difference. Victims of imperialism and victims of imperialist aggression, present and past, it's justified to be a fucking nationalist for that sort of country, because you're a nationalist towards a country that is being oppressed by an imperialist power. There is literally a big difference. Patriotism isn't universal. Oppressor country, a patriot is empowering. In an oppressor country, it's all about punching down at the oppressed. That's what American patriotism is. It's nothing more, nothing less. And anyone that fucking pushes that you need to love your fucking country is your fucking enemy, especially if you're in the imperial core. If you're in Venezuela and you're pushing to be patriotic towards your country, that is not the same thing as being a patriot in a country like America. America is the most reactionary country in the fucking planet. It's the most anti-communist country on the planet. And if you want to actually see anything change in this country, you're not going to fucking change by pushing the same fucking policies that the far right has been pushing for generations. When at times of crisis, what is pushed in America? Patriotism, militarism, fascism, all of these things. You cannot separate these things in America. It's as American as you can get. And 9/11, what was pushed when the two towers fell? What was pushed fucking hard? American patriotism. And it hasn't been the same since. America has actually gone more fascist since then. You really want to push the same kind of policies that oppresses ethnic minorities and freaking pushes genocidal rhetoric, because that's what these kind of people push. And anti-immigration, anti-Arab. There is literally no difference between American nationalism and fucking Zionism or Nazism. They're all the same fucking shit. A nationalism for the oppressor group at the expense of the oppressed. If you really fucking want to fucking push for a society that is going to change, then you're going to have to fucking abandon this American patriot bullshit. American patriotism is a fucking cancer. That I don't understand why I need to fucking say this. I'm some fucking random dude on the internet who is saying fucking shit that anybody else can say. I'm no one special. I'm no one special. Any one of you who's watching this stream can say the same thing. What I'm saying is nothing special. Anyone can say this. Anyone. And I think catering to American patriotism, because you don't have enough faith in the people that would actually support your movement, you're a fucking coward. I think anyone that pushes for American patriotism is a fucking coward and has given up on building socialism in any capacity on this continent. If you think that the only way to get socialism to happen on this soil by catering to the most fucking reactionary, most violent sex of the population, you're a fucking coward and you're a sellout. And you were never serious about building socialism in the first place. Socialism is a struggle. It's a struggle that you'll be engaging with your entire life if you decide to go this path. It isn't fun. It is not fun. It isn't fun in games. If you fucking want to build socialism, you have to be willing to make the hard decisions. You have to be willing to make some sacrifices. You may have to be willing to give up some of the things that you love or cut off relationships with people that you've known your entire life. This movement is not about you. It's not about your personal relationships with people that you may love or you care about. It's about everybody else. You want to build a future where your descendants or people like your descendants that can grow up in a world where they don't have to worry about dying of preventable diseases. Almost 1 million people officially, I think it's way more than that in America, have died of COVID. What's your fucking solution? And the very fact that you have these same people are now pushing anti-fucking vax, anti-fucking mask, anti-whatever conspiracy theories. It's like, you're going to fucking go for the people that are pushing this shit over the people that actually want to see things change. It goes to show you where their priorities lie. They don't fucking care about fighting for fucking socialism. If they truly cared about fighting for socialism, why are they going to the fucking anti-vaxxers? Why are they going to the fucking people that are pushing anti-freaking mandate conspiracy theories? Why are they doing that? Why aren't they actually pushing to expose, movements in this country that are actually fighting for their communities? Why? Because it's not beneficial to them. It's more beneficial to push right-wing conspiracy theories than it is to actually push for actual leftist movements. The very fact are freaking that you have these so-called communists that are pushing this shit is fucking disgusting to me. And you know what? I'm just going to say this. Guilt by association is a fucking thing. If you're not going to, disavow yourself from people like, Jimmy Dore, who's pushing this shit, then you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot if you are willing to tolerate that shit. I used to like Jimmy Dore, but he fucking crossed the line to me by supporting Rittenhouse and doubling down on fucking COVID fucking denial. It's like this, it's all interconnected. All these people are the same. I don't fucking trust libertarians at this point. They're all the fucking same to me. I can't fucking trust them. Okay, maybe that's not true. But based on online libertarians are all the fucking same. I'll just say that. Online libertarians are the same. Because they're pushing this fucking nonsense. Like, I never thought I'd be saying this. It's just this Jimmy Dore and all these fucking people that are pushing this anti-vax shit They're stooges of fascism. Anti-vax is a fucking fascist movement, and nobody's gonna fucking convince you that it's not a fascist movement. Fascists are pushing this. Fascists are... They're putting us all in fucking danger. They're putting us all in fucking danger by pushing this nonsense. Like, I don't fucking care what your feelings are, what your fragile feelings are, you fucking anti-vaxxers. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. My own mother got COVID. And it's not a fucking joke. It's fucking real. I know people in my job that fucking got COVID. And one of which is dead. Yes. A coworker who was a friend of mine. He's dead. COVID fucked him up. He didn't die of COVID, but he would still be alive if he never got COVID. And I've known this guy for almost 10 years, and he's dead. So I know fucking people that have died directly or indirectly because of COVID. And I'm not going to fucking hear it from some crazy fucking Jimmy Dore fan or fucking or the Moppenites or whatever that this shit isn't real or the government is doing this, blah, 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 blah. Fuck off. I was forced not to work for more than half a year because of COVID. And I had to go back to work because I could have gotten fucking evicted from the place that I live at. So I've been personally affected by this shit. And the very fact that you have people who are like lying about COVID mandates, fucking vaccine mandates, fucking lying, spreading fucking misinformation for what? Because it makes money. There is no justification for this. None. 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 There is no justification for this. It's a fucking first world phenomenon. First world fucking middle class fucking privileged people complaining about their lives being inconvenienced. And Jimmy Dore and the people that support him catering to these kind of people. Who's going to suffer when the fucking newest variant fucking starts killing people en masse? It isn't going to be the fucking middle class. It's going to be the fucking poor and the disabled as usual. Because we don't fucking matter to these people. We don't fucking matter. And you know what? That is the reason why I cannot in good conscience support people like Caleb Maupin. Because people like me don't fucking matter. Disabled people don't fucking matter. If you're going to fucking push anti-vax shit, then you know what? You're basically saying, I don't fucking care if you die. Almost 1 million people are fucking dead. Almost 1 million. Almost 1 million. And you still have people pushing anti-vax shit. I used to be tolerant towards anti-vaxxers because, you know, there were some people I knew, but COVID-19 has basically pushed me over the edge. It's like, no, fuck you. I'm sorry. Your fucking convenience isn't more important than the fucking people that are actually going to be affected by fucking anti-fucking COVID fucking denial. Whatever you want to fucking call it at this point. Anti-vaxxers, I fucking can't stand them. I have nothing but contempt for them. And the very fact that people like, you know, Maupin, Hawes, Jackson Hakel, Peter Coffin are fucking enabling this shit. You even have the guy in the gray zone fucking doing this shit too. It's like, I guess when there's money to be made by spreading a right-wing, unproven conspiracy theory I guess everyone's going to sell out. You can't trust a lot of these people because freaking they're doing this as a grift. It's a fucking grift to them. They're not fucking serious. And anyone that fucking cites like Caleb Maupin in any fucking way, they deserve to be fucking laughed at. They deserve to be fucking laughed at. I don't care. If people are like, oh my God, Darcenovia, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like, no, I'm not gonna like, oh, let's think of the anti-vaxxers. Fuck them. Fuck them. Seriously, they can go to hell. They seriously can go to hell. I'm not gonna freaking back down on this fucking, stance that I have. No. They have essentially are putting people in danger who are doing everything right. They're putting us all in danger with their fucking dangerous, backwards fucking rhetoric. Of course, and you could blame the U.S. government for why, there is a fucking people that don't trust them. That is an argument, and that is fair. But it doesn't change the fact that, these stupid dipshits are still spreading this conspiracy theory. And who does it benefit? Who does it benefit when freaking when you have more poor and disabled people die? Who does it benefit? The ultra rich. The ultra rich. It benefits them. You fucking are helping fucking the ultra rich essentially kill more disabled people, kill more poor people. You fucker are helping them with this eugenics bullshit because you fucking, are too stupid to realize you're fucking doing the government's dirty work for them. These conspiracy theories don't do anything but benefit the government because the government fucking, they want to get rid of certain kinds of people and you're doing nothing but helping them. Anyone that pushes COVID denial is anti-working class in my mind. Because if you support this, then you are essentially pushing for policies that will ultimately get the poor killed. And I'm speaking from experience. It's like none of these people will care if people like me were to die of COVID, or if my life is ruined because of financial reasons. No, none of these people care. None of these people have the nuance or actually look at what their actions do to affect others. Actions have consequences. And there are consequences for pushing this shit. And my fucking mistake and my fucking thing I could criticize myself for is I didn't go hard on this enough. I will not tolerate anti-vax shit. I don't care who you are or what you are. I'm not going to fucking put up with it. You're fucking literally endangering fucking people who can't even get the vaccine because of medical reasons. They're lumped with this shit too. That's another reason that I fucking despise the anti-vaxxers. Because those who can't get the vaccine are lumped there as well. And their lives can be potentially ruined because of forced mandates. You fucking people are doing nothing but actually justifying mandates in the first place. When it's eventually required to get vaccinated, for all jobs, mandatory, who's going to likely not going to be able to get employment and have a difficult time getting it? Those who can't get the vaccine because of medical reasons. Yeah, you're going to fuck these people over. Oh, but they're only a certain percentage of the population. Fuck you. It doesn't change the fact that it's going to affect people. The people that are vulnerable are going to be affected. Every freaking thing that you guys do has consequences. And you're going to force whatever agency to do it. Now, I don't support the U.S. government. I don't trust them. But I do know that vaccines do work. You have a better chance of surviving COVID by getting vaccinated than not getting vaccinated. Anyone that continues to push this nonsense that, oh, the vaccines don't work, fuck you. Fuck you. Seriously, fuck you. Yeah, I said I used the F word a lot in this stream today, but I'm, we're at the end of the year, literally. Some of you who are maybe watching this, if you're who are watching this in another country, it's already the new year. But seeing like people that I've once respect to do this fucking shit, go for this right-wing grift, angers me. I don't respect people that sell out. And I do see this as selling out. Catering to the most unhinged members of the population. Because it is unhinged. This entire anti-vax bullshit is unhinged. And I have nothing more to say because I've said everything. I know it's not a long stream for this being the last stream of the year, but I would like to say a few things though, a few more, because to end off the year. Thank you everyone for supporting me throughout this entire year. Thank you for supporting me when the split between me and Be Liberal happened. Thank you for supporting me during the tough times, of the year. And thank you for supporting me despite some of the blunders that I made. I'd like to let you know that I appreciate it. I have a lot I still have to learn. I have a lot that I still have to read. And this won't be the last time I'll self-criticize. I have a lot of learning I have to do. And I like to end this stream and along with my last words of the year. Long live the People's War. Death to fascism. Death to Zionism. And death to America.